Good evening and welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Jo Brand. In the news this week, at the World Decathlon Championships, there's evidence that some competitors may have been using illegal dolphin steroids. At a COVID test centre in London, an investigation is underway to establish how a batch of fresh test swabs were accidentally replaced with old rectal thermometers. And despite even harsher government restrictions, here's a fine example of how, with cooperation and coordinated effort at a local level, we can get through this. On Ian's team tonight is a journalist and broadcaster who's interviewed most British leaders, including Tony Blair, Gordon Brown and David Cameron, although she's yet to interview the current one, Carrie Symonds. Will you please welcome Charlene White? And with Paul tonight is an American comedian who comes from Georgia, a state so slow at counting presidential election votes, they've only just declared for Jimmy Carter. Please welcome Reginald D. Hunter. We begin with the bigger news stories of the week. Ian and Charlene, have a look at this.
So Boris pulling a cracker, not for the first time. He's saved Christmas for us. Hello, there's recovery over there.
He is also signing a deal with Father Christmas and how he can feed the kids over Christmas.
Anyway, yes, so this is the big news. Christmas is saved. Boris is giving us Christmas very generously.
I'm all for cancelling it. How about you, Ian?
Well, you're pretty miserable.
Well, it'll be cheaper.
Oh, yeah, so not living.
I'm sort of like a reverse Scrooge, because I start off thinking, Christmas, great, and then by the end I think, oh, shit, isn't it Christmas?
I'm disappointed in all of you.
Yeah, OK.
We've been granted this festivity for a brief period of time, and I think we should be very, very
Why
grateful.
Why have you dragged me and Reg into this? We haven't said a word yet.
Come on, are you looking forward to Christmas?
Yes.
Good, thank God I've got an ally.
Yes.
Actually, now you agree with me, I'm thinking I must be wrong.
Is he one of the households you're going to have round to your house, Ian?
Oh, no. Sets the dogs on me if I go anywhere near his house.
I like how the British government think that the virus will take time off like we will, like, you know, for Christmas.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the virus wants to spend time with his family, too.
Yeah, couldn't we have Christmas just delayed? Couldn't we have it at Easter?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it might confuse some of the religious messaging going on.
I think you just
Jesus was
compressed
born
it,
and
don't you?
died on the same day.
Might give the impression that Jesus was crucified at the age of 3 days old, but other than that...
And it's Thanksgiving this week where you are, though, isn't it?
Today, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are they giving thanks for today?
About the time British people came to America and helped black people meet Indian people.
Yes, I remember that in my history lessons.
If it wasn't for British people, we never would have known no American Indians. Thank you very much.
How did the Sun characterise the Prime Minister's generosity?
Oh, they had a picture of Noddy Holder with Boris's face on it. And he was screaming, "It's crisis."
OK, there we go. What will your daddy do when he sees your mama kissing Santa Claus? He'll shout, "Boris, take that beard off and get out of my house." What was the essence of Boris Johnson's message?
It was one of his typical mixed messages, wasn't it? You've got to have a lot of fun, but don't have any.
Sensible mayhem.
Well, he said, use personal judgment, don't throw caution to the wind, 'tis the season to be jolly, careful.
Well, that's not been his motto in life, has it?
Not really.
He wants to get the credit for having saved Christmas, but he doesn't want us to have too much fun at Christmas.
Exactly. Try to enjoy yourself, but remember, you'll probably kill people. You just need to follow a few rules at Christmas.
Yes.
They're supposed to be safe, don't you?
Yeah.
The one I think people always forget is don't touch your face all the time. So I'm just going to have 2 mince pies, 1 in each hand at any time for the whole 5 days.
And you've got to eat indoors, but with the windows open.
I'm going to eat outdoors with the windows closed. Don't care.
OK, how will the 3-bubble system work at Christmas? According to the Telegraph, parents with several children will have to choose between them.
Which bubble to join?
Well, no, let's say you've got 5 children,
Yeah.
and they're all grown up and they've all got families. You can only have 2 of those children. You know, if you don't get chosen by your parents, don't worry, because it just means they love those siblings more than you.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be those kids with middle child syndrome. They were the ones not
Exactly. I'm middle child and I'm fat, so there's no way I would get chosen. I would eat too much Christmas dinner, and I'm the annoying one.
Yeah, are you?
Yes, I am. Can't you tell?
Well, without meeting the other 2, I wouldn't really know.
So, has there been some good news this week? Can anyone think of any?
Yeah.
Go
We've
on
got
then.
another vaccine.
Yeah, no.
Yeah!
I said last week, no one knows how to deal with good news. So this vaccine comes in, the other 2 are 92%, this one's 70%, which is unbelievable. And they go, no, it's 70%. Oh, it's not going to work. Oh.
No, but it can be 90% if you just give half the first
Yes.
dose. So if you don't give that first dose, it'll be 100%.
Brilliant, we're on.
Yeah, exactly.
People are funny, aren't they? They just think this is going to go on forever and there's no way out of it. And then you say, we've got 3 vaccines, and they go, oh, 3, but that'll be confusing.
I mean, it's just like people joined the 100 Years' War. They said, is this never going to end? And when next time we do this series in the spring, we'll have real people sitting in the audience instead of people sitting at home underneath the bedclothes, getting up to all sorts of things, and occasionally looking up at the screen and giving an odd laugh here and there. I didn't know there was so much gin and tonic in the country.
What do you like? I like vodka.
I mean, this is now going to make the programme at all. The only time I ever drunk vodka was when I was working at Tooting Employment Office, and my parents went away, and I drank about 3 or 4 bottles of vodka during the week. I went into work one day. I was so drunk that the peppermints I was having to try and get rid of the taste of vodka tasted of vodka. and I phoned up the rest of the employees on the various phone links within the office and told them that the world was going to end at midday. That was my career in the civil service.
They are recruiting civil servants again.
I don't know if they've looked at my record.
So how has an old neighbour of Matt Hancock been benefiting from the pandemic?
He's been given money for protective equipment and he hasn't produced any.
His name is Alex Bourne. He was a former neighbour of Matt Hancock, and he's been supplying the government with tens of millions of vials for NHS COVID-19 tests, despite having had no previous experience of producing medical supplies. Here's the 2 of them in Alex Bourne's pub. There we go.
He runs a pub, does he?
The Cock Inn. I don't know why I said it like that.
Yes, when Matt Hancock's there, people say, "Here's the cock in."
All right, here you are, Ian. This is right up your street. What's the massive piece of good news?
Is it you can go and watch matches if you're in
Yes.
the lower tiers?
Indeed. Football fans are going to be let into matches again, provided the tier system allows. In London, up to 2,000 fans will be admitted. So a return to normality for Arsenal. It says.
What, so 2,000 people can go and watch football together, but I can't have dinner with an old friend inside my house?
No, or like see your nan or what have you. But if you bring your nan to the football...
Because, see, your family's more likely to spit in your mouth than football fans are. And that's why it's dangerous.
Yeah, especially when they see what you got them for Christmas.
OK, finally on this one, how has the Belgian town of Oudenburg caused a bit of a Christmas kerfuffle?
They've captured Father Christmas and beat him like a mad dog.
The mayor, Anthony Dummery, commissioned some Christmas lights to perk up the town, and he got these.
The blue colour at the top's a bit of a worry, isn't it?
Yeah.
They should get those at the Cock Inn.
Good. This is the news that we can all spend Christmas with our loved ones. Bollocks. Boris Johnson was criticised for announcing the holiday rules in a flippant manner. 'Tis the season to be jolly careful. Although that's better than his original idea, ding dong merrily, don't die. Some people are unhappy about relaxing the rules. According to the Telegraph, one expert said a Merry Christmas could mean burying your relatives in January. Not Moonpig's most cheery card. The new Christmas rules come following guidance from the Sage Committee, but until we also hear from the Onion Committee, I'm not leaving the house. Paul and Reg?
Yes.
Take a look at this.
Something tells me this is Utah.
Grand Canyon, maybe?
What's that, Reg? What's that?
That would be a monolith that was discovered recently in Utah.
The bikini has travelled through the galaxy. Yes, this is a mysterious object which has appeared in Utah. Any idea what it is?
On the safe side, I'm just going to call it cosmic art.
Okay. So, yeah, this is art from another planet. It's been put there by aliens. It's been there for a long, long time. Nobody knows how long it's been there, how it got there, what it's doing.
Well, I think the two aliens landed and they said, can you take us to your leader? And everyone said, well, you'll have to wait for the end of the count. It's too early.
Is that called satire? That's in particularly poor taste.
First of all, it's the news that a monolith...
It's a monologue delivered by somebody with a lisp.
What?
A monolith is a monologue delivered by somebody with a lisp. Doesn't matter, it's too late now.
Well, no one knows where it's from, Ian.
What's this, the monolith?
Yeah.
That sounds like a monologue delivered by somebody with a lisp.
Well, if you look really closely, you can just make out Ed Miliband's sixth election. What's the name of the artist that they think might have done it?
Is it Maggie Hamling?
No.
Is it a statue of you, Joe?
Do you know what? I wish it was a statue of me, because I think it looks much more attractive than me.
Oh.
No, Ian, I'm not
you.
saying that in a self-deprecating way, but I think it's rather beautiful, that
Yeah,
monolith.
no, I agree.
Yeah.
It's as sexy as you, Joe. Don't you worry about it.
Oh, thanks.
You're as sexy as a piece of upright metal in Utah.
Oh, where are we now? More la la
Are you
la
blushing,
la.
Joe?
What?
Are you blushing?
No, I'm not. I've got high blood pressure. No, yeah, I'm blushing. How did it get there? Anyone got any ideas?
It could be an alien cash point. Who knows, man? just, like, because they wouldn't want, if you was an alien coming to Earth,
Yeah.
you wouldn't want your cash point to be like on the high street in Soho.
Yeah, exactly.
The human beings, just buzzing with all kinds of viruses right now, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They probably already have cash points all over, but they just want some distance from us and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I think this, but I don't know this.
Well, no one really knows. Our newsreader's a bit short on facts, as we can see here. Let's have a look.
The structure not only appears to be solid and heavy, but is more than 2 times the height of this man.
This just in.
Now, speaking of strange structures stuck out in the wilderness, what's Donald Trump almost done this week?
Conceded that he lost.
Absolutely.
I was guessing.
Yeah. Trump said that he told officials to begin initial protocols for a transfer of power for the best interests of the country. That's nice of him, isn't it?
I think after that, he then repeated that he'd actually won the election.
That's right.
He said, we will never concede to fake ballots and Dominion.
Who's Dominion?
There was these warlike people in Deep Space Nine. That's what you're talking about.
Who was Trump granting a pardon to this week?
Oh, Michael Flynn?
Oh, yeah.
Not Michael Flynn, actually. Well, yes.
Oh, the turkey.
Yes,
The
that's
turkey.
right. A turkey called Corn beat Cobb in a Thanksgiving Twitter poll and was
Yes.
pardoned. Here they are. Yeah.
This is one of the bizarre things they do. Other countries have these customs, which they get used to, because they've been doing them for years. But then when you look at it from the outside, it just seems completely balmy.
And also just to have a choice of 2 and then asking the people, do you want to kill this one? Do you want to kill this one?
And imagine how you feel if you're a person sitting on death row looking at this.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the pardoning, shall we?
Corn, I hereby grant you a full pardon. Thank you, Corn. What a great.
Well, and I'm not big on conspiracy theories, but I think Ivanka's in that turkey. And then Trump can legitimately claim that she's been pardoned. I reckon. What surprise did Joe Biden spring on us this week?
His cabinet?
Yes.
Yes.
Effectively. Although he's had to defend his picks after he was criticised for appointing all the old Obama lot. Will they not be quite so great the second time round, the Biden gang?
Well,
that
I'm
he's got
not
back?
sure
Well,
they're
they're
going to
gonna-
be as
Sorry.
bad as what they've had for the last 4 years. to be
Exactly.
fair. They just need to not be as bad as that, and they'll be winning.
It's a very low bar. That's
Well,
been
it is a
set.
low bar.
I don't think it's even it's too low to be a bar. It's submerged. What they've got to climb over.
There is no way Joe Biden is going to go the distance over 4 years
Do not know.
The way he shuffles across the stage, it's like, I'm not sure he'll be here by the time he's officially president at the end of January.
I know. I mean,
Well,
I'm
this
not...
is a bit harsh on Joe Biden. He's just won this huge landslide, and you're not going to give him till January to live the rest of his days.
Paul, I'm not even sure he knows he won.
Right, now, this is the news that a mysterious monolith has been found in Utah. One theory popular on Twitter is that the monolith was left by passing aliens as a message to humanity. That message being stop looking at Twitter. Also, this week, Donald Trump finally prepared to leave office by pardoning convicted criminal Michael Flynn. Following Trump's controversial pardon, the newspapers are bringing up the case of Michael Flynn again. I think he's grown whiskers on his chin again. And so to round two, the Teddy Picker of news. Let's see, fingers on buzzers, team.
Yeah.
Here's the first one.
Oh, you guys gone all out for this.
Until now, I didn't realise we didn't have a graphics department. No idea.
Was that all you wanted to
That's
say?
all I wanted to say. I've got no idea
Okay.
what that's about.
Go on, then.
Boris Johnson saying to the police officer, you better smile or I'll set her on you.
Priti Patel has been cleared by the Prime Minister. There was an inquiry into whether she was a bully or not, and a civil servant finished his report and said, yes, she probably was. She broke ministerial reports, but it might have been unintentional. And Boris said, no, I don't think she's a bully. That's it. And so the person who compiled the report had to resign. And so everyone's in the clear except the people who aren't.
Alex Allen.
Alex Allen.
Yeah, the Prime Minister's advisor on ministerial standards. He resigned from his post. We can only hope that Alex left Westminster as dramatically as he once arrived there during a train strike in the 80s. Whilst certain that Priti Patel was guilty of bullying behaviour, Sir Alex Allen's report added that there was no evidence she was aware of the impact of her behaviour.
Doesn't sound like any bully I've ever heard of.
Do we have any examples of what she said?
It was sort of shouting, screaming, telling people they were useless at their job.
Right.
Swearing. That thing that never happens in any workplace ever, anywhere across the country.
Well, apparently, Sir Alex Allen had previously warned Priti Patel about her behaviour, saying, I advised her on a number of occasions between September 2019 and February 2020 about the need to treat staff with respect.
But when he told her this, she looked at him and thought, I will see you off, though. And so next year, I'm pretty sure that everybody else that talked bad about her in that report, she planned to see them off, too.
They can't cope with a woman in charge. In fact, I saw someone say that she couldn't possibly have done it because she's small.
Hitler, Napoleon, Stalin. Not suggesting that she's like those, but they were all
Scarface.
small men.
Small of stature.
The Crankies.
Yes. Look at the way they took over Eastern Europe in the 60s.
And Scotland now.
Yeah.
Well, what did Boris send to MPs over WhatsApp this week?
He sent a message saying, it's almost unbelievable he sent this, we've got to form a square around the Pritster,
He did.
which I misread as Pritstick.
She just doesn't look like the type that you could hang a comfortable nickname on, like the Pritster.
Yeah, you can't imagine being in the Home Office and going, oi, Pritster. I
Yeah.
just don't think that will go down very well.
It'd be more something like the Pritinator.
Now, it was also the fault of the civil servants who apparently did not give Patel the support she needed in the department. So do they share some of the blame?
Well, if somebody's shouting at you that you're useless, is it your fault? Well, I suppose if you're useless, maybe it is. But they're career civil servants. They probably know what they're doing after all these years.
I mean, they may have drunk vodka all day.
I think you're referring to something that never made the edit, Ian.
I'm desperately trying to keep it in.
We've done some digging and we've found some video evidence of the fear Priti Patel instilled in staff. Keep an eye on the door at the back.
We've got the Navy living next door to us, of course, which is always interesting when they bring the big ships in.
Right, so fingers on buzzers, teams. Here's the next one. Oh, sorry.
Oh, thank you, yes.
Prop.
Oh, look.
The cricket tee. It's going to be scrapped.
The cricket tee?
Cricket tee. It's in the middle of the game. You have tea. It's a measure of the sport's athleticism that about halfway through you stop, you eat cake, preferably sandwiches, which are very, very important.
So let me understand. You're going to have to eat before or after the game rather than during the game.
Yes, I mean, it is an appalling limitation on personal freedom.
The reason for giving up the tradition is the expectation of a decent feed means the average cost of putting on a cricket spread can be £10 to £15 a player.
Oh, God, there's not that much money in the world.
Why is Sussex League Club Horsehead Keen's Horsemen T20 team devastated by the rule change?
They specialise in making tea rather than playing cricket?
Well, a spokesperson for the club told The Times they're very disappointed. We've been working on a new Pavlova recipe. So it's not just the players. Who else will this impact?
The spectators, obviously.
Yeah, umpires and scorekeepers who often work for free but are compensated by a decent spread. One unnamed source said, "What a joyless way to spend a Saturday. Teas were one of my delights in life."
Why do they feel they had to be anonymous to say that?
No, it's not
That's hardly going to occur the wrath of the Taliban, is it?
Sports broadcaster Mark Pugac said, "If you're going to scrap tea and cricket, then you might as well scrap cricket."
Big words from Mark there.
That's quite extreme, though, isn't it?
He's got a point, though.
I mean, if there's one thing about cricket, there's a lot of moving around. There's clearly a lot of running. So they clearly work up quite a bit of an appetite.
Yeah.
But it's not as if they stand around for hours doing not very much.
No, I know.
And you can play like hours and days and still have a draw, right?
Yeah.
It's like having sex all day and nobody comes.
No one's ever said that about cricket.
Who else is a big fan of the cricket tea?
Ian Botham.
No, it's former England captain Mike Gatting. His love of a good cricket spread was so notorious that once, after being bowled out by Shane Warne, one Australian player mused, "The ball would never got past him if it had been a cheesy pickle roll." I like the sound of Mike Gatting.
Yeah.
Finally, would you like to see a dog watching a darts match?
Every day of my life.
Yeah.
And Scott, his mind probably on that missed opportunity to take the leg and the set, which would have made it 3-3. That went.
It's like the dog. It's like the dog that stays in the room is looking at the owner saying, "You see how stupid he is? I told you he was fucking stupid. Look at him. Look at him. See it? Okay, all right. But you love him too, don't you?"
This is the outrage over the decision to axe cricket teas in the Sussex League. According to the Mail, providing tea has also been criticised as sexist, as the wives and girlfriends are asked to make the sandwiches. You can ask, mate, but I'd make sure you're wearing your box at the time. Also this week, football legend Maradona died. It's not yet known whether Maradona will be cremated, but if he is, his ashes are expected to have a street value of £8.7 million. Now, time for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication, Billiards Buzz, the magazine for professional pool players. It's in every top player's home, either on the table or very close to the cushions. And we start with, woman shares controversial guide on how to cook Christmas dinner in what?
Saudi Arabia. Hemel Hempstead.
A bomb shelter.
The new.
July.
In her mind.
In a raging fury.
In a coffee jug.
In the washing machine.
Getting nearer.
Oh, dishwasher.
Dishwasher, yes. This week, Shannon Doherty from America went viral after making this disturbing video.
Did you know you could cook your veggies in the dishwasher? This is the best holiday dinner hack. Put veggies in mason jars, add water, and run them in a normal dishwasher cycle. Instant Veggies, best cooking hack.
Yeah, watch out, Nigella.
Look out, Nigella. Here comes salmonella.
Next, religious pool player calls his trick shot the gospel, as it always ends with what?
A miracle.
Divine intervention.
Revelation.
With them saying, "God damn."
It always ends with him handing out free pamphlets about Jesus.
But that's got nothing to do with the trick shot.
No, but it's sort of vaguely got a religious flavour.
You could call the trick the donut, because he then eats a donut after he's done the trick shot.
What's religious about a donut?
It's holy.
Oh, OK, take it back. This is an article from Billiards Buzz about one competitor who refers to himself as the religious pool player, partly because he likes to convert people, but mainly because whenever he walks into the bar, people moan, oh, Jesus, not him again. Next, London takeaway in embarrassing gaffe after advert what?
Misprints duck of the day.
London takeaway, an embarrassing gaffe after advert turns restaurant into rude word. This week, London eatery Anu's Kitchen were left red-faced after an advert for the restaurant forgot the all-important apostrophe. Have a look at this unbelievable picture. Lastly, Jester the Rabbit knew he was special when he what?
When he pulled a magician out of a top hat.
When he read about himself in Billiard News.
When he was pardoned by Donald Trump.
He knew he was special when he featured on the cover of Continental Giant Rabbit magazine.
That was so on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at him.
It is a giant rabbit.
Massive.
No, that's not a rabbit. That's a horse.
I haven't ruled out that that's a very small woman.
Can you imagine the fox that tried to come up on that cat right there?
Oh.
No.
He'd make a lot of pies, wouldn't he?
If he was taught specially how to make them, yes.
Apparently, the vet recently had to put Jester the Giant Rabbit down as he was too heavy to carry. So, the final scores are Paul and Reg have 6, but Ian and Charlene have 8. But before we go, there's just time for the caption competition.
Government reveal method for choosing which tier each county is in.
Trump lawyer struggles to explain strategy to overthrow election results.
On which note we say thank you to our panellists Ian Hislop and Charlene White, Paul Merton and Reginald D. Hunter. And I leave you with the news that following a particularly fractious cabinet meeting, Liz Truss suddenly realises that one of her colleagues has replaced her chapstick with super glue.
But it's the Brit stick.
In Wiltshire, as one man's Uber pulls up, he's in two minds about asking the driver if he could put his mask on. And in Portsmouth, as a salon prepares to reopen, it occurs that no one checked on Donna in the tanning machine before they closed 3 weeks ago. Good night.
Barbara's got a birthday cake for Jim, and Denise has got a hangover. Sorry, no, it's stress. The royal family next, while BBC 4 celebrates Scotland's finest musicians, starting with Jerry Rafferty, then the Proclaimers, and later Annie Lennox.
I'm Michael McIntyre, and I have reinvented the wheel!